our theme this evening is pizza night. Take a break with pizza night, because I know that all of you are in the middle of finals. And this is a nice way to just clear your mind and feed your brain and your bellies a little bit with some fun foods. So tonight, we are here with Kendra Diet, the 4-H Program Associate of Atlantic County, and Belinda Chester, our Master Gardener and Program Coordinator for the Rutgers Cooperative Extension of Atlantic County.
This is going to be a super fun, kind of fast through 4 different kinds of easy pizzas that you can make. So we're going to get right into this first one so that we can get it in the oven. And this one is you can look in your little packet, an upside down deep dish. This can be made in a couple of different types of pans. We're going to use these little pizza pans that I happen to have because I've had these for a long time. You can use a cast iron skillet. You could use a cake pan. It doesn't have to be fancy. You're going to put all your toppings in the bottom, and we're going to layer them through here, and then you're going to put your dough on top. So whatever you have works for this one. You don't have to overcomplicate it. One thing that you really want to make sure of when you're doing this particular recipe, as far as pan goes, is whatever pan you use, you want to make sure that it's oven safe. So remember, we're going to do this up to about 425 degrees. So you want to make sure that your pan can be in a 425 degree oven, because otherwise you'll end up melting your pan. So that's your one thing. When you're choosing a pan, you want to make sure of that. All right, so first thing we're going to do, we have some peppers here, some onions, some mushrooms. We're going to saute those just a little bit in some oil, not a lot. You can actually do this part in the oven. What we did for the 3 that are already in the oven, we actually just did a sheet tray. We put some baking tray, like a cookie tray, put some peppers, some onions, some mushrooms on there, and let it cook in there for a few minutes on 400 degrees until they started to roast, and then we pulled them out and put them in those pizzas. So we're going to do this one on the pan. And we're using the light olive oil. We have talked about this one a couple of times, so I wanted to go into it a little bit further while we're cooking with it. I'm using light olive oil to cook with and saute with, but you'll notice that whenever we do other things where we're going to be using it for a cold preparation, I use extra virgin olive oil. There's a little bit of a controversy on whether or not it matters if you use extra virgin or regular for things that are higher heat. Here's why I choose this. The reason is, this is where you get a lot of flavor. So don't waste the flavor of an extra virgin olive oil on putting in something that you're cooking where you're not going to taste it. So save the really high flavor extra virgin olive oil for your cold preparations, like a salad dressing or dressing a bread, dipping breads, things like that. And then use this for cooking. Now, we did put in your packet this time some information on different types of cooking oils and different kind of fats that you can use. So I want to talk about that briefly while we get this started. Whenever you do, we usually tell people that you want to stick to oils like avocado oil, or if you're deep frying, you would do a vegetable oil, canola oil, peanut oil, something like that. But you want to make sure that when you're doing high temperature preparations that you use an oil that can stand up to that. And those usually are your vegetable oils and things like that. The reason for that is that when you get some of your other oils that are not meant to be at a higher temperature, like sesame oil and things like that, once they get to their smoke point, they actually can give off toxins that you don't want to eat, and they get really bitter. So this one, the fact sheet's got a nice little chart on what the appropriate oil is for different types of preparations. We're using the light olive oil here. That one's fine because we're not getting it really, really hot. I forgot something to stir this with. So whenever you're doing that, you just want to stick to something that is something that's meant for sauteing or something that's meant for higher temperatures. But again, there's a really good chart in there. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it tonight. We're going to get these kind of seared a little bit. They're going to go in the oven. They're still going to cook some, so we're not going to let them stay in there a long time. And then we're just going to layer them in our pan. So what we've done with this pan is we've put some olive oil down in the bottom of it just to keep it from sticking. We're going to layer our vegetables first, after we give them a little heat here. Did you see one of this one? Here it is. And then we're going to, I'm going to show you how to layer it in here. This is a really fun, easy pizza to make. Just takes a few minutes to put together. And you don't actually have to cook these ahead of time. You can put these vegetables in there raw. We are cooking them ahead, but you don't have to. I like the taste of getting the roasted taste onto it, but and a little caramelization on the onions, because as you heat up onions, they do get a little bit sweeter. You get a little bit of caramelization on them. So we're gonna take our pan. And I don't know if you can see this, but we got just a little sear on them because we had it at a pretty high temperature. So we're gonna layer these in. This is one of those recipes that really lends it to whatever you want to put in the bottom here. Little pepper, little onion, and I believe it was last time we had someone ask what the difference is between red onion and other onions. Some people say that red onion should really only be used in things that you're not cooking. I use them to cook all the time. I think they give it some nice color. They give it nice flavor. There's not a huge difference. Now, your yellow onions, sometimes you will see stores call them yellow onions. Sometimes you'll see them called Spanish onions. The difference in that is how they're labeling it. It's the same onion. Usually, your Spanish onions are a little bit bigger. But yellow and Spanish onions in the United States are usually the exact same onion. They taste the same. They're all a yellow onion. All right. So we put our vegetables down in the bottom. We're going to kind of layer this up with a few. You can layer it in whatever kind of layer you want. I like to have layers of cheese. So I put provolone first. I put the vegetables first, then I put the provolone, then I start with the meats. Then I put another layer of cheese. So we're going to put about, you want to kind of cover this. So in this particular pan, that's about 4 pieces. Don't worry. I know you're thinking, there's no sauce in that pizza blender. Don't worry, it's going to be there, I promise. Now we're going to take a little bit of pepperoni first. Sarah and I got a good laugh because your recipe says specifically 14 pieces of pepperoni.
That's a lot.
Yeah, we're not going to count our pepperoni. We're going to put pepperoni until we think that's enough pepperoni. Really an up-to-taste thing, but I think that's cute when they actually count it.
That's a lot of pepperoni. It's going to be mostly pepperoni taste.
Right? And remember, we're putting a lot in this. So I'm putting a lot of layers in it, so you don't want to put too much. So we've got our pepperoni in there. Now we're going to put a little bit of sausage. Not a lot, just a little. Just to kind of fill in those gaps where there's no pepperoni. Another layer of cheese. This time we're going to put cheddar. Now we're going to put a little bit of bacon. 'Cause who doesn't love bacon, right? If you're going to go sausage, you got to go bacon. So we're actually using pre-cooked bacon pieces here. You can cook your bacon ahead of time, or you can get pre-cooked. It's kind of up to you, whichever way you like. I find, honestly, when I'm really crunched for time, and I know when I'm getting ready for my own finals, I'm always looking for something fast. And this would be one of those moments where I'm like, yes, I am going for the pre-cooked.
A lot of cheese.
I know, it's a lot of cheese. This is going to be very cheesy.
I don't think I made mine that cheesy.
So I heard a really funny joke the other day, or at least I thought it was funny. Someone said, Chicago pizza is not pizza, it's a casserole.
It's soup, yeah.
So my husband and I got a good laugh out of this particular recipe because he was like, so that means that this is not pizza, this is a casserole. And I can't say that I disagree on some level.
Chicago pizza is soup. It's not
It
even a
kind of
casserole.
is.
It's soup. Have you had it at Chicago pizza? It's soup. It's soup in a
I know,
bread.
see, we're like,
And they were so excited when I went to Chicago. Like, you have to have it. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'm good. And it was soup. But yeah,
right.
casserole soup.
Now,
I'd rather take the
pizza is
casserole
another
soup.
one of those places where you kind of say, this is going to be seasoned up to you, but there are also some ways. I like to use things that I have around the house. You could buy pizza sauce. You could make your own marinara sauce. But you can also use just a regular pasta sauce and give it a little seasoning, which is what we're going to do this time. Kind of depends on what I have around in my house. That's how I decide what I'm going to put in it, what kind of sauce. The main thing that you're looking for in your pizza sauce is you don't want something thin. So if you're using a pasta sauce, you want to make sure that you choose one that's a thicker pasta sauce. Not one that is really thin. Really thin will make your dough soggy, so you don't want to do that. But the really good thing about this dough is that it's going to be on top rather than on bottom. So you generally don't get that doughiness that you can get if you don't pre-cook your dough. All right, so now we're going to take our little round of dough here, and this is just canned dough. You can get a couple of different types. You can get frozen dough. You can get canned dough like we're using here. Again, we're going for easy here. We're not going for complicated. We're not going for something that we have to spend a lot of time on. But a couple of little tips. Your local pizza shops will usually allow you to buy a little bit of dough. So if you go in there, I do this a lot when I'm going to do pizza for my kids on the weekends. I will call our local pizza shop and just buy the dough. Because they usually keep it all refrigerated and ready to go. Yeah, so we've got a little bit of olive oil on top of that.
And sometimes ShopRite has it. I usually buy it. It
Yes.
has a nice little dough ball.
Most of the local
inexpensive,
grocery
too.
stores have it.
Yeah.
It's usually frozen, sometimes refrigerated, but it's usually
It's
frozen.
usually frozen, yeah.
But if you're looking for something that you want to do quick, you can look at your local pizza shop and get it done. So
That's true. That's true. Since there's no ShopRite around here, too, you're right.
all right, so we're going to put this one in the oven.